Tyrone TG3 here. Pokemon Horizons. Episodes 17 and 18, actually. Both of them. Yeah, I'm reviewing both of them this time around because, one, I know I'm super behind on episodes right now. Uh, my whole schedule's been kind of odd recently just due to more than one job. Um, and in addition to that, I also wanted to do more projects in the background. So while I'm doing those, the recording for the review for each of those episodes is been put on like a hold, and I've had to delay a lot of stuff. I'm taking the time when I do have some free time to work out like a very prominent schedule for stuff that's happening. But obviously, you know how the last few episodes of Horizons were because those were skits. But for this one, I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to, sorry about that. I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to put these two together. Not just because I'm behind, but also because these are both like character development episodes. And I feel like we're getting a lot of character development episodes, which is good. That's exactly what I wanted to see from this series. And I'm glad that we're starting to see those. I'm glad we're starting to see not just like characters that were already established Rising Volt tacklers, but like the newer characters too, like Roy and Liko. I'm glad we're getting episodes involving their development too. So I'm glad we're getting a little bit of both. And then I decided the best way to do that would be to, go over both episodes that deal with two of the characters, Freid and Roy, respectively. So Roy's episode was Wattrell and Fuecoco secret training. And then Freed's episode was The Sky is the Limit for Flying Pikachu, which I feel was a good Captain Pikachu and Freid episode. Gave us a nice backstory. Really like the visuals of that one. But first we'll talk about the episode 17 one. So that one, it's clear cut, and I know it's not going to sound as exciting as it should be. It's a good Roy episode to me. Like in terms of just what it is, it's a good Roy episode. Roy's not one of my favorites, and there's no particular reason why right now. It's just out of all the Rising Volt tacklers, Roy's just sort of there, sadly. There's nothing about him that makes me like, ooh, what's his character like? I don't know. He sort of just fills in the basic boxes for what we expect as a Pokemon character. So there's nothing I can really say that's like good or bad about him. He's just sort of in a neutral plane. So honestly, I think Roy's having an episode just strictly to him is kind of what he just needs. He needs a development episode. And this one wasn't too crazy. I mean, I know the plot was pretty much that he wanted to train his Fuecoco and Wattrell against Captain Pikachu. And Captain Pikachu does wind up beating the snot at him without even like attacking them once. And it's just cool to watch. And from what we see, they didn't just lose and then that's over. They lost and then tried to go again. And they learned that Wattrell can gain more electricity the more wind it takes. If it takes in more wind, then obviously it gives him more electricity. But Wattrell's small because it's a baby, so it needs to be at a higher altitude to catch more wind. It makes perfect sense. Dot points it out. The whole training is them trying to get used to that. So they think of a cool little combo that makes that happen. My thing is, in official Pokemon battles, they won't be able to do that with trainer versus trainer, obviously. But I'm guessing like fights against explorers and other characters like that clearly will have moments where that combo gets to be used. So overall, I think it's a pretty interesting dynamic. And then even when they do the dynamic on Pikachu, Pikachu still winds up beating them by using some aerial maneuvers, which obviously flows into the next episode. And honestly, I really like that. I do like that they use that as a transitional piece for Freed's episode. So we move on to that one, actually. And while Roy's upset that he lost, at the same time, he's happy because they're getting better. They even made Captain Pikachu lose his hat, which is it's like a step higher than what they've done before. And it also inspires Liko to try to get a partner too. I love that they never leave anything sort of untouched here. Liko looks at Roy, Fuecoco, and Wattrell and goes, maybe I should get another Pokemon too. So I'm glad the show is openly acknowledging that and wanting to have Liko advance. When we move on to Freid and Pikachu's episode, first of all, I love the format that they put it in like this theatrical movie format. And literally the animations and art style are just on point for the whole episode. It's really good, and it's really serene and beautiful looking. Freid obviously trying to get in touch with Pikachu first, and Pikachu's really aggressive, and it goes out of its way to make this cool thunder typhoon that it can like fly up in the air, and then it uses its tail in order to like maneuver itself in the air. These are really cool things that I expected from Freid and Pikachu, but now to see them visually and be used to pretty much jumpstart their characters is really cool. We also see that Freid has a connection to Lico's mother because she used to like basically be a teacher. And then we see 4-year-old Lico, or baby Lico, whatever you want to call her. I'm glad they didn't like have her remember that. I'm glad that that's just something that she had when she was little, but it never really comes up to her. Because I didn't want everything to be too convenient. And I've always said in narrative, what you don't want to do is make every character conveniently know each other for some way. If it happens once, maybe twice, it's fine. But to have every character be like, oh yeah, I remember you from my past. Or, oh yeah, I know you from this. Or that. Like, it makes the plot seem a little too weirdly convenient for everybody. It makes it seem like all the characters weird. It makes everything seem a little too convenient. So I'm glad that they did it, but they did it with a level of subtlety that I can digest. So that's fine. And like, yeah, Freid and Lico's mom do know each other prior to the series, which is kind of convenient. But at the same time, it comes off as natural. And I'm glad she just shows, hey, I'm married and I'm living my own life and I got a daughter. You need to be focused on what your future is. And that's why I think Freid was in a rut too. Because his main deal was, while he is a professor and got what he wanted, it feels like once he got what he wanted, it sort of stopped there. He needed to find a new purpose. And his new purpose was flying into the skies in order to travel the world to discover more things about Pokemon just around the world, rather than like the limitations that he had at that moment. And the fact that he knows Ludlow makes it really cool too, because then we get that connection from Ludlow to Orla, then obviously to them traveling around the entire ship. I do feel it a little too convenient that Freid is able to just convince Ludlow, hey, I'm taking your ship. I wish there was a way. I mean, and obviously Ludlow's a nice old man. He's not going to put up much of a fight against Freid on that. But I do wish there was a way. Like, I wish Ludlow had been like, hey, promise me that if you take the ship, then you'll show me a sight that I've never seen before. This man is getting older and older as time passes. I want to see the seas for what they are. I don't know. I feel like there should have been some caveat behind it. Something that's like so metaphorical that it can still happen while they're on their journey, but still tangible enough to give us a reason why Ludlow's on. Because sadly, this makes Ludlow the weakest character in terms of why he joined. He joined because Freid just sort of asked. And yeah, I'm sure they'll cover it later. They'll like break his character down a bit more. But in this flashback where the characters are starting up the Rising Voltacklers with the first 3 members, it sort of looks like Ludlow just went, okay. Orla's reason is payment. It's literally just a Nami reason. She's like a Nami and an Usopp combined, and I love it. She's like, I mean, your payment is going to be me being your engineer for this whole thing because, yeah, I built the damn thing. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm with you the whole way through because without me, this whole ship's going down. So that made sense. I liked Orla's reason. I kind of wish we got a little bit of Orla towards the beginning. We could have shown her fixing something or showing how bored she is with her job as an engineer or something. Something that really makes her go like, while she's turning a cog or something, she's just like bored. So that we can clearly see that she, much like the cog that's needlessly turning where it needs to be, she feels cramped, congested. She feels like her work is limited to just where she's working at and can't soar off into the skies and make a difference. Where then when she finally meets Freid and makes the ship, she goes, oh, finally, I've been given a new purpose. I've been able to create something, breathe life into a machine that's allowed to travel the world. Something that has a bigger picture to it. That would have been kind of cool to see Orla have that sort of eureka moment. But sadly, we do get, while the joke is fine and though it's completely in Orla's character, I do wish we had had a better motivation for it, but I'll take it for as much as it's worth. After that, we get the Rising Volt Tackler setting off, and the fact that they have the recorded footage, because Dot records literally the entire moment. Dot's like, yo, I can upload this and we can go viral. And Liko, it's really big for Liko to go, nah, don't do it. And now Liko, her deal with Dot, by the way, the joke's over, and the joke sort of just closes slammed hard like a book. For as much surprise and disbelief that she had that Dot was Needle Thing and all these continuing running jokes we had of it, now that she knows, she's just sort of chilling about it. She freaked out like once, and now she's just like immediately chill about it. I don't know. I feel like the joke was so alive, but the joke had stayed alive so long that I would figure that the recoil, or at least the cooldown, would be just as long, but it's not. She's immediately back to normal, as if she's just like was told that yesterday, and it's just even news. She's fine with it. She's sitting in Dot's room, and she's like, like she's not freaking out about it. I guess is what my thing is. I'm surprised she didn't like look all over Dot's body and be like, how do you do it? The Needle Thing costume, and she's like looking at it. I don't know. I feel like there was going to be a bit more spazzing out about it, but she's immediately sort of calmed down at that moment. Hell, has even like she's doing like a low-key guest star episode situation with Roy, which I find pretty funny. I hope they actually wind up doing some of those in the future. That'd be pretty funny. But with that being said, I think that's pretty much it. Really nice character development episodes. I'm glad that after the Levencia arc, we have a moment to just chill and let the characters develop. The next episode is actually about Murdoch, if I'm not correct. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sorry. That one's the truth about Alcremie. So we'll get a better... And that actually makes sense, because Alcremie is a Galarian Pokemon, and they're already in Galar. Plot-wise, they made it to Galar. So for both episodes, for the Roy and Watch Trail Fuecoco episode, I'm definitely going to give that one I'll give it about a 7. And then as far as the Freid episode, I'm definitely giving that a 9. I'll give that one a solid 9. Visually, it's beautiful. It's great. It's completely within Pikachu's character. The characters are really well used. I like the episode. I honestly think both episodes did a really good job with character development. So when we move forward, we'll move on to Murdoch's episode. And then based on what I've been hearing, I haven't seen any previews or anything, but based on what I'm hearing, the Hatena is supposed to be the Liko episode. So we're getting a lot of character development episodes, and that's good. That means the crew is actually growing as a crew, and that's exactly what I wanted to see from the Rising Volt Tacklers. So with that being said, I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone TG3, out.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I need to watch that. There's a bunch of anime.
Yes!
Yeah, we can't make it. Yeah, we're not Sonic. We're not. Come in with blue eyes. I got something for your blue eyes, boy. I took this personal. Bam.